I was like gonna do like a whole bit for the intro, but now that we're recording in the morning and we've already got this, and I just don't know if I have the energy for it. But
Can you tell me the bit?
It's quarter after 11 a.m.
Morning.
all right, well, let me do the intro then.
Yeah, do the intro.
We'll just get into it. Why, howdy there, stranger. I'd like to welcome you to the smoothest digital radio show this side of the Rio Grande. Us cowpokes have been riding the trail from dawn till dusk, observing these lawyerly folks and their adventures in California as they drag their evidence wagon behind them. You know, partner, we'd be hard-pressed not to tell you our tale, so grab yourself a flask full of a drink of your choice and kick your feet up as we tell you about this phoenix that rose from the ashes.
Is this the part where the intro
I
music
hear
plays?
my eyeballs rolling out of my head.
Oh,
Okay, fine. Welcome to Updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotseben and Friends, where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Hello.
And two good friends of ours, Tiago
yo.
and Rose.
Hi.
If you're a first-time listener, Dessy and I are the longtime fans, and Rose and Tiago are the newcomers. We hope that through both of our perspectives as we play through the series, it'll reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series that's near and dear to us. Today, we have all played through 1-5, Rise from the Ashes, the final case of the first game in the Ace Attorney series. For real, this time. This is a long-ass case.
I always forget.
We had to shuffle the schedule around. I had to stream more to get in all the Let's Play episodes of this case, because I just completely underestimated how lengthy it is. I double-checked. It is still the longest case out of all cases in the entire series. Part of the reason for that, I guess, is because this was added back in for Game 1 when it was re-released on the DS in 2005. So they were like, well, hey, you got to give something for these old fans that are picking the game back up for a second time. We got to give them something to really chew on. So let's give...
Yeah, here's like a whole new half of a game.
Yeah, basically, here's like another... Like, if you take 50% of the game and put it back in here, you've got a whole nother case. So yeah, the rough setup for this case here is Phoenix is kind of depressed. He hasn't taken any cases in a while. And then a girl shows up at his office and says, hey, can you help me out here? My sister is in trouble and I need you to defend her. However, the sister that she's asking for him to help with is Lana Skye, the district chief prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth's boss. So Phoenix looks at this girl who's asking him for help. Her name is Emma Skye, again, and she's reminds him very much of Maya Fey, and that's enough to get him to go like, you know what? I will hear you out. What then follows is a very involved case in which you're solving the current day case. Then there is a second quote unquote murder that is involved in the evidence room at the police office. And then there's also a past case from several years back that is also getting wrapped into this. So all three of these are getting layered on top of each other. They're all involved. One of them's not real. And then you have to line all these up in a way that proves that Lana Skye did not murder this detective, and then also find who the real murderer is in the process, who ends up being a very, very powerful person in the police force. So yeah, let's get into first impressions. I guess we'll start with Rose. What did you think of this case? Overall, just general feelings.
Overall, I did like it. It was really hard. The difficulty step up was quite a bit. And it is so long. You guys. I know
Talk
that
about
you...
1-5 without using the word long challenge.
It's impossible. I know you guys
Yeah.
told me. You told me, like, this is the longest case. It's gonna give yourself extra time. Oh my goodness. Why did they do that? I mean, I know why they did it, but oh man, they could have, I don't know, maybe broken it up a little bit or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
We managed it, but whew. But yeah, no, there's lots of Miles, so I was happy. There's lots of Gumshoe, so I was happy.
There's
The
some
new
really good Gumshoe
characters-
content in this.
Mm-hmm.
The new
Yeah.
characters I mostly liked, yeah. You know, maybe somebody talked like a cowboy a little too much, but
Mm-hmm.
what can you do?
You see, I love
Uh,
that though. I love the cowboy. Like, he's so deep into the bit that like he doesn't see the ridiculousness of it. You know?
I did love the music that played though. That kind of made it worth it for me.
This-
They committed to like have a banging like Western soundtrack the whole time.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That was like some good spaghetti western shit.
Yeah, good music in this one. Good music.
I love this case. I think it's my favorite case.
Okay.
I can say that confidently, because like, fucking, I was so like, there's enough game in here that like this could have been like its own like fucking story, right? Like, if they could have found a way to like, they probably could have stretched this out to be like a whole game. I don't know. I like the Sky sibling story was wonderful. There is the whole like police department wrap up with Chief Gant. There's it's interesting to see what's the word I'm looking for? The extension of Miles Edgeworth's arc in regards to his like story of him being the demon in the courtroom with him fabricating evidence and stuff like that. I just as someone who plays video games, I'm someone who gets wary whenever they add content in where it's like fucking not like, yeah, it's like post the game release, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because like
Yeah.
I felt like the game wrapped up kind of well. Like we had the whole we had everything with the last case with Miles Edgeworth, Manfred von Karma, stuff like that.
Right.
There was like in this case, what is the word I'm looking for? I am having a time thinking right now.
That's all right. It's fairly exhaustive.
Yeah.
And it also, I guess, again, it has to fit in with the existing story. Not to get too spoilery about Game 2, but Miles Edgeworth at the end of Case 4 is like, I'm going to take a break for a little bit, kind of thing. Like, that's kind of the vibe given off here.
Yeah.
And then they had to make Case 5 still fit with that, which is why, obviously we're going to get into spoilers for this whole case, but spoilers for the very end of the case, during the credits scene, somebody sees a resignation letter on Miles Edgeworth's desk and is like, yo.
Underneath his desk.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell is this? But yeah, like during the credit sequence then is like the actual like final like resignation letter then, because he takes a trip and disappears for a little bit during Game 2. So
I'm gonna miss him.
yeah, don't worry, he'll be back, but he does take a little bit of a dip for a bit, and so they have to make all that line up still, and so I think for being a case where they are slotting this into the existing story, doing trying to do a Star Wars where they insert stuff. Oh, this happened before the main story, but kind of in between. We're gonna fit this right in here, and then they do a pretty good job of making it still all line up. There's not like too much that like conflicts with the rest of the character arcs. And
I do have one thing I want to put on the table that I did not care for, as far as them slotting something in and changing it a little bit.
Mhm.
And this doesn't diminish my enjoyment of the case, but it was a little disappointing. The attempt to sort of reform Miles's past.
Mhm.
They're like, oh, he didn't actually forge evidence. And I'm like, screw you, of course he did. Look at him. He's a villain. I've got to fix him.
yeah,
So
I
it's the
had
like
that.
a woo soft boyification of him, which I think we complained a little bit about on the stream, but
Right. I
definitely
had
wanted
I feel
to...
like that's like some people enjoyed it and some people didn't.
Yeah, I was actually
I-
someone who
Thing.
enjoyed it.
I did not care for it at all. It makes his change less meaningful, I think, where it's like, oh no, he was never
He didn't
really
actually
bad.
forge evidence, but they didn't like say that he didn't. Obviously he told people not to say things in their testimonies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that part
So,
is
like-
true. I just feel like, in a way, because I feel like forging evidence straight up makes him a criminal. So the ramifications of that being true would be like, he'd
I'm so
fucking
okay with
lose
that.
his life. Like, he'd be fucking arrested.
We should all be arrested. We're all terrible lawyers.
Not me, I'm different. I'm
Yeah.
built different.
I mean, to be
now
clear,
there's only 4 lawyers in this entire state.
it's true.
So, but like, it was a little bit disappointing as like a thing where you look back on it and you're like, oh, this character's like so popular and so beloved. Let's change it so that his history is like less villainous
Mhm.
to like, sort of satisfy something for some people. And to me, I definitely think a change of character is more interesting than, oh, no, they were good the whole time. Don't worry. So,
Right. It's a little bit of a
obviously,
sanding off the edges, right?
I still love him, and I'm great at being in denial. So I'm just gonna do
Yeah.
whatever I want.
I don't know. I never really had that idea about him being like a villain. He was just always kind of a dickhead. He was never truly like, even in the beginning, I never really saw him as an evil guy. He was just your adversary in the courtroom, and they would always talk about how he would use forged evidence, but like, I never really was like, well, they don't really explain that in the first game very much until this last case when they were like, he didn't actually use forged evidence. He did, but it wasn't him that made it.
Right. The police
didn't
provided
know.
him forged evidence,
Yeah,
but he didn't.
and it's the whole
know.
relationship between the police department and the prosecution thing that's a major part of the story as to the reason why he uses the forged evidence and all of that to get the guilty verdict. But I don't know. I guess I just see Edgeworth a little differently because I'm coming at this. I came at it a lot earlier than Rose did.
Yeah,
But
she
is coming
got
into
here.
it like cold turkey, so
I know very little.
it's just interesting. Your concept of him is different than mine.
Yeah, I look at this and I see like I can fix him. And
Yeah, so my
You know.
interpretation of Miles Edgeworth is that he's always been your rival. Like, he's the fucking, he's not Shadow to Sonic, he's Knuckles to Sonic. You know what I mean? Like, he's
Yeah,
always
he can fly.
I'm making a face right now.
he can't, like, he doesn't have skating, he glides, just like Knuckles.
Have you considered that I love Shadow the Hedgehog?
Sonic
Yeah,
is blue,
I-
Phoenix is blue, Edgeworth is in kind of the red area. Edgeworth can fly.
Edgeworth can glide. He can climb walls by jamming his knuckles in. He does all the same things. Dude, Phoenix Wright also has spiky coils, just like Sonic. This analogy works. And Miles Edgeworth's hair flops down like Knuckles' back of his quill.
Holy shit.
I don't want to tell you that you're not the first person to come up with this, but
What?
you can find art out there.
Bitch, everything gets Sonicified, okay?
Yeah.
Especially,
This is
especially
a-
when this was like coming out. This was peak Sonic time.
There's goblinization and then there's Sonicification. Alright, so like, I like, because like, here's the thing is that like, I hated Edgeworth. I thought he was a fucking shithead. This is the case that made me like Edgeworth. Because it was
I
like...
want him to be a shithead. I don't know. I think I have like definitely a weird way of liking characters. I guess that people have expressed that to me before. So
I mean,
yeah,
listen,
I never really saw him as a shit, like like an evil asshole, just like a guy who is in a bad circumstance and has to be what he has to be the prosecutor that he is.
Yeah.
And also like the circumstances of who he was raised by.
Yeah, that,
you know,
yeah.
what he perceives as being good at his job, you know, through his mentorship.
I hope we get to go into that, because that is
Oh,
definitely
yes.
something that's
yes.
interesting to me.
There's like a whole game
yes.
about it.
Yeah.
Also,
As I expressed in his case, I was like, this might be a thing later.
also, Manfred von Karma tricked him into being a shitty prosecutor, just like Eggman tricked Knuckles into fighting Sonic. This works. This analogy works.
Manfred van Karma is Eggman.
Manfred van Karma is Eggman. Also, Chief Gant can
That's
also
fine.
take that role.
I like Chief Gant also.
Yeah, I love Chief Gant.
I think I like villains. I think I have a problem.
Yeah.
I have a brain problem.
So, should we talk about the case? Is that something we should talk about? Lana and Emma.
I was about to bring us back to Lana and
Rose
Emma.
wants to keep talking.
I only want to talk about Miles.
And say, because yeah, we've talked a lot about Miles, who is obviously part of this case, but and a decent chunk of it too. But yeah, let's loop back around to the like start of it. How did y'all feel about this sister pair of Emma and Lana Skye? And how, you know, were you endeared to them? Did you feel like, oh, this is just substitute Mia and Maya, or were you did you feel like they were their own characters as the case went on?
I'm like thinking about it now.
Who's going first?
I, at the time, did not get Mia Maya vibes, thankfully. Emma feels like a different character with different responses and reactions to things. Like, she doesn't have the same reactions. She has similar but not the same reactions to things as Maya would have. But I don't know. I think she's a good character. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're obviously gonna get more, a little bit more of Emma in the future here, but that might take a little bit to have her show back up again. So, but yeah, I mean, the game deliberately draws the comparison, right? Like literally, when Emma is asking Phoenix for help, the screen flashes Maya's sprite in the exact same pose as Emma's, you know? And when they're in the exact same pose, they're making the exact kind of slumped shoulders pose. Like the game literally wants you to draw that, you know, comparison. And Phoenix even goes, "Wow, she reminds me of my two sisters, you know, one needing my help, you know, kind of thing." So yeah, I was just
subtle.
I was just curious if anybody felt like that it was you know, too deliberate a comparison, and that it hampered anything, because I never got bothered by it, especially because we immediately get like a lot of differentiation with Emma, especially in the like science related stuff. I guess going on to that stuff, how did y'all enjoy the luminol and the like fingerprint detecting stuff, getting to use the DS features for the first time? Was that something you found like engaging here, Rose?
I loved it. I watch hours of forensic files. It's all bullshit, but I love it anyways. Love the luminol, love the fingerprints. It was very fun. I definitely felt like Emma was a different character, personality-wise, etc. I felt like her sprite was a little too similar for me. It didn't bother me a ton because it was just like physical, but I just looked at it and I went, we've recolored Maya. Like,
And she's got a different jacket on or whatever.
so it was very heavy-handed in the design, and the same with the what's her name? Her
Lana.
sister, Lana. I'm from Boston, so gotta hit that A. But I felt like their personalities were different, so it wasn't like, it was just like physically I was like, oh wow, they told them do this character again, but a little different, and they did. But I liked both their personalities, and I loved that they let me use Luminol. Very exciting. Hope that comes back. I know it won't for the next two probably, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, low key, I'm fucking pissed about the low mall. Because, all right, I like the mechanics. I think they're fun. Twisting the evidence, using the luminol, the blood spatter. That's all nice. As a gamer, I try my best to play this game without a walkthrough, and then there's a fucking moment, day 2, where you have to use the luminol in the evidence room to find the second handprint. Now, I'm mad because I didn't hit the right fucking pixel. So
Right.
when I sprayed the luminol, I sprayed it over the white coat that was sticking over the evidence locker, because I saw it and went like, "Oh, that coat's sticking out of the evidence locker. That's suspicious." It didn't occur to me to put it on the fucking locker, and I'm pissed that like I had the right idea, but like I sprayed around the locker, not on it, and that's what kills me. So I had to look up a walkthrough to find, after being lost for like an hour and a half, because I was just going through every single fucking window until I got to the handprints again.
A real gamer would have sprayed it over every pixel of the scene, Tiago.
Rose, I have a turbo button on my Hori Splitpad Pro Joy-Cons, and I swear to fucking God I thought I did. I'm not kidding. Like, I have footage of it. I will give it to you.
No, I mean, I totally
You've got
believe
evidence.
you.
I've got fucking evidence. So like, I like the mechanics. It was curious because I was playing on the Switch, and I know that you have to like blow into the mic to blow the dust away. Rose, you are playing on the DS, correct?
The 2DS.
There is a mic on the 2DS, right?
Oh yeah.
Did you blow
Yeah.
the dust away?
Oh yeah.
Fuck, I'm so jealous.
I'm the only one with the real experience.
God.
That's what it was.
That's bullshit. I don't believe that.
The thing is though, is that my neurosis tells me that's true. Like you are the only one with the true experience.
No, I don't believe that at all.
The
hardware elitism has no place in my heart.
Unfortunately, it occupies
Ben
just
and I had the experience.
wrinkle
We were
in my
playing this on the
brain.
DS.
Well, so far I'm the only one without the experience. Then I think they should add a microphone
unquote.
to the Nintendo Switch for this game only. Also for Hey You Pikachu, and
You had to like blow
true.
pretty hard, so like I don't know how much you were missing.
They were looking for
out on.
really fucked up sound.
Nintendo Switch should add a mic so that you could yell at your villagers in Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yes.
All right, now that I got that bit out of the way, I like the mechanics. So like, I think the other 3D mechanic that really caught me off fucking guard is the one where you have to turn the pottery in the third day.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
'Cause,
Oh,
like,
that was so fun.
I had it like I knew where I was supposed to turn it, but it never fucking like I just wasn't. It wasn't in the right position. It was a pixel off or some shit like that. Because like I did it like 6 times, and on the 6th try, even though I did it 3 times in that exact same position, I got it. And I was just
The one where you have to turn it so it looks like the blue badger.
yeah, the one where you have to turn it where it looks like the blue badger.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
actually made me so frustrated that I had to put the DS down and walk away for a little while because I knew
I
Like,
remember
I had
that
it.
being very frustrating.
I had it. It looked like the blue badger, and then Edgeworth was like, go fuck yourself."
If
I
I
was like,
if I was in a real courtroom with a human being, they'd be like, "That was the blue badger. You got it." Miles Edgeworth would
yeah.
tell me, "Tiago, you're so cool and smart. You got it."
Yeah.
"Oh man."
That's exactly what he would say. Other than that, yeah, I thought they were fun. They're niche. I bet that Apollo Justice and the other games going forward has DS specific mechanics. Right?
Yes. After game 3, the whole look at your evidence and spin it around type of thing, that generally sticks around for most pieces of evidence.
That's gonna be
good.
scary for me because I struggled a lot during this case, so I'm gonna be very afraid of when I have to actually be a real lawyer by looking at the back of a piece of paper.
I forget. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to remember how well the rest of the game was handled. We'll honestly have to find out when we get there. I think the thing I remember most from Apollo Justice is watching a video and picking out stuff in a video, which we also got here.
Oh shit! I love that video.
Feels like a little bit of a test bed for that video that they will do in Apollo Justice eventually. But yeah, you get a VHS tape in this case. You pop it in the courtroom. You wheel in your little TV on a stand like it's a substitute teacher day at school, and it's like, all right, we're gonna watch a video, and you can play, pause, rewind, all that stuff, and you got to point out a few different pieces of evidence in this video to show some contradictions.
So this is the one moment where I knew about that case beforehand. I was watching a Let's Play, so not even a Let's Play. There was just a Twitter clip a couple years ago of I don't know if I should call them out. I know the person who put up the clip. The point is, I saw a Twitch clip of someone looking at the evidence locker, being like, "What do you mean there's a contradiction? The light's already on." And they go, "Wait, the light's already on?" And then fucking yeah, that's it. And I was like,
yeah.
So I knew that part of the video because that clip sticks in my mind. But the rest of it, I was like, oh yeah, the blue badge is there. That guy's got blood on his shirt. Fucking everyone here is a shit lawyer, and I'm the best because I can tell the big problems are like Dora the Explorer.
I was mad because I found a bunch of the stuff that you had to wait to show later. I was like, look, the locker's been opened. And they were like, that's not right. Do the other things first.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of that, me being like, oh, I figured it out, but I have to go through the correct dialogue tree to get the judge.
You're like a step and a half ahead.
Yeah, get the judge to let me show this part.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
when a game like this is linear, I don't know if there's a way to overcome that.
No, I don't think there is.
Of a player figuring things out a little bit too quick. Aside from just straight up telegraphing, and they do this when they ask you to present evidence, they will specifically phrase it like, present evidence that shows the contradiction for why, this evidence locker is already open.
Sure.
To try
the
to
evidence that shows
frame.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, just to sort of frame it that way.
Yeah.
That would be good as a little hint option, because there's definitely a lot of, I remember a couple times where they're like, there's something in this evidence, Phoenix. And I was like, that is so vague. I've been through the screen 10 times. What do I have to click to get you to let me talk about this thing,
Yeah,
but it is the first game.
I definitely went through a lot of just trial and error with evidence. On the first day, I legit had no idea what the fuck I was supposed to do. That was the most lost I've ever been in the Ace Attorney game. When Angel Star, God bless her, greatest queen, showed up to the witness stand, she did kick my ass. She did fucking fold me like an omelet. Because she was like, I have a perfect testimony.
How quickly you forget April May.
April May? You know what? She's the blueprint, okay? And Angel Star is the building.
Original is best.
You know what? I'll take the new age one. I'll take the newest model. Fucking Angel Star.
We can't talk about it like this.
I know, we gotta move on. Angel Star during the first day was like, I have the perfect testimony, and I was just like, damn, she does though. I kind of agree with everything she said. So what's the problem? And I've never been killed by the judge before until that day. He killed me that day several times.
He gotcha.
He got me. I legit can't even it's a blur to me. That first day, I totally forgot about everything because it was so I just trial and error, just mashing all the evidence options.
A lot of stuff gets layered on top then too after day one.
Yeah, but day two was super easy because they had a VHS stuff, and I was like, This is some Dora the Explorer shit. I can point it out right there. I can just click on his shirt. And then, so like the reason I wanted to bring up the evidence thing is because like during the final day, you got asked the question is like, can you prove that this person killed Detective Goodman? And then like you just have your evidence show up, and then like the correct option is to say no, he didn't. So I was like in a screen where I was like,
Oh, I know which one. Okay, yeah.
I straight up
the
fucking
last
stuck.
day.
Yeah,
The trick.
the trick. Yeah, I fell for Gant's trick. He fell for it several times actually.
I loved him. He's so great.
Oh, he's the clapping.
Oh, his sprites, his sinister everything.
His little like
office.
flat grimace, you know, as he stares at you, and the music pauses for a moment, and then
it starts
it
up
kicks
again,
back
he's
in,
clapping
and,
and laughing.
and he starts
I thought
clapping
I
and laughing. Yeah,
crashed my DS. I was like, oh my god, I've done it. I've broken this 2DS.
like for a brief moment, I think it's supposed to be read as like, oh shit, have I pissed him off? And then he goes, ha ha, don't worry, you're all good, kid, you know, kind of
Yeah.
thing. You're like, am
he's
I
so
though?
Fun.
You know,
I
this-
loved him.
So
And then of course then you are always on the brink of pissing him off, and then eventually you do.
yeah,
you know?
eventually I am his worst nightmare.
And
Curious
that's
about
why
this
it's
tie.
satisfying.
It is.
Yeah.
So like the first day, Lana Skye is caught bringing it like stabbing a body in Miles Edgeworth's car, and Angel Star is a witness to that. But Angel Star lied about her testimony because she really wanted to get Lana Skye arrested. Day 2, you gotta prove that the murder in the fucking evidence room didn't really happen. Is because the police are so incompetent they can't tell that a murder didn't happen here. That's the thing that fucking kills me, right? Is that like they just assumed a murder fucking happened in the evidence room. There's like no fucking body. There's like a knocked out guard who barely remembers what I also love Officer Meekins, by the way. He is a cartoon. They just pulled someone out of Roger Rabbit for this fucking game.
Yeah.
Counterpoint. Despised Meekins.
Wait,
He
really?
looked like he was from a different video game.
That's why I love him.
And he made that horrible screeching noise
That's
supposed to simulate like
Yeah.
true, yeah.
the
The megaphone.
He was annoying. He didn't make any sense. Hated it.
I think I would have found him significantly less annoying if I didn't get stuck on the fucking video for so long. When I played the game back in like 2008.
Oh yeah. I
didn't mind him as a character, but I got stuck on that fucking video. I remember being stuck on that for a long time.
Also, Ben, snow just fell off my roof and my mic fucking caught that. So I'm excited for you to have to listen to that later.
That's all right.
So like fucking Officer Meekins, I think he's a Giga Chad. I love him.
Oh my god.
I love him.
This is the last take I expected.
No, I don't think it's a Giga Chad. He's a true beta male, but I love him all the same.
You have
Alright.
to. People don't know us that well yet, so you gotta make sure that people understand that this is ironic.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm not
Listen,
serious.
everybody gets one wrong opinion. I think Wivifying Miles is bad. Tiago thinks
Meekins,
Officer Meekins is a good character.
So here's why I think he's actually a good character. Like, just going past the fact that he exists as a person, I think for a game he's wonderful. Like, he's over the top. He's his expressions, the one where he accidentally handcuffs his own neck, is hilarious. He's a cartoon character, and like in a case that's kind of serious, I like that levity. I'm someone who likes like goofy ass shit, and here is a man who's goofy as hell. So like,
I wish he had been funnier then.
I thought he was pretty funny. I thought he was a funny guy. He's someone who's like, yeah, I definitely murdered him. And I was like, well, why do you think that? I was like, well, they told me I did. You know?
Yeah.
If that had been it, that would have been funny. But I had to wade through so much shit, and that screeching noise, and the video again, the video again.
Did y'all have trouble during
and-
the video? The video was so easy.
Yeah. Oh, earlier I explained that I struggled because I was trying to show the later parts of the evidence.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and figure out what I was supposed to show first.
Oh, I was like just following the judge's rule. The judge was like, "Show me the exact contradiction that why he had to hide the jacket," and then it's like, "Oh, because there's blood on the jacket." And I'm like, that was like the easiest part of this case for me. It was the videotape because I was just like, I'm just pointing shit out. I
was pointing out the wrong shit.
Yeah, you had it in the wrong order.
Yes, I had it backwards.
I think that Officer Meekins needs a different job. He's not a good cop.
I agree with that.
No cop is good,
does.
but he is especially dead.
Speaking
a cop
of getting
is afraid of knives.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. Knives are scary.
The evidence then, I think one of the most interesting bits, and this is on the third day then, is you need to get some more evidence that can really drive the case home and finally implicate Gant in all this.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to your good friend Gumshoe.
Yes.
And you say, "Give me your detective ID," and he's like, "What?
No.
Yeah. And then you show him Edgeworth's crumpled up resignation letter, which does one of the best bits in the game in which Gumshoe gets all broken up about it. And he goes, "No, this can't happen. We gotta find a way to help Edgeworth. I'll let you borrow my detective ID." And he hands it to you, and you go up to Gant's office and you scan Gumshoe's ID to get in the door. And then Gumshoe is standing right behind you anyway.
He just fucking shows up.
He's just there with you, and you're like, "Gumshoe, you could have just
me.
come with us if you were going to do this anyway." And then you rummage through Gant's, his safe and get the two pieces of evidence that he preserved there at the time, and finally, fill up your ammo to be able to take him down. But I think it's a really
Fill up your ammo to finally move to the third part of the game.
right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really fun moment because it is very Phoenix Wright to just go breaking and entering.
Yeah.
B, it's a great Gumshoe moment, top tier Gumshoe moment. And C, then you also get the delightful confrontation between Phoenix and Gant firing Gumshoe, and you get this moment where you're like, "Oh, Gant would fuck me up if he could."
Yeah.
Right.
There's also this is like one of those instances where you're like sneaking around someone's place and illegally obtaining evidence, and this is bad, and you're like, "Well, this is Phoenix Wright," but like then it does actually play into that. Like it does play into you can't really show that because it's not necessarily because you obtained it illegally, but because they say it's not relevant at the time.
Yeah, and it hasn't been approved by the police.
Yeah.
Those are the two rules of evidence law.
It's fucked up that they introduce evidence law like post the game, like post game content. That's
right.
I was tricked. You find out that this case is specifically a cover up for an event that happened 2 years ago. That Gant was essentially the fucking perpetrator behind the entire goddamn thing, and
He murdered that guy.
he fucking threw a guy into a suit of armor and killed him.
He murdered an unconscious man.
So here's the thing, is that day 3, you find out that potentially the one who killed an unconscious man by accident was Emma Skye, the sister of Lana Skye, the defendant. And I thought it was Emma. I thought Emma killed that guy, and I was just like, well, they're not gonna...
They do a lot to kind of drive that, so...
Yeah, like, he fucking wrote... So, like, it didn't occur to me that Emma did not murder this man until, like, one, Gant was obviously the one. But, like, they never bring this up in the case, but it's something that I thought about till just now. How the fuck would, like, the dead man written Emma's name on the vase in blood when he was stuck up on the statue of armor? Like, they never bring that up, but, like, when he's dead, he's fucking got impaled from behind, and he's hanging on a suit of armor. There's no way he would have been able to reach over and write down the word Emma on a vase on the ground, right?
I mean, that's the whole point, is he couldn't have.
Do they
There's
say that?
one line.
I don't remember
one
that.
line. Yeah, it is literally like one line where they bring it up.
Yeah, because
I think we talked about it on the stream just a bit. Because when the line comes up, I go, "Oh, they just They just said it, and it's not even like present an evidence type situation or anything. They just mention it.
Yeah, it's like you feel like it's a big thing, but the game does not consider it to be as huge as you do.
I feel like if I was in that room, I'd be like, yo, how the fuck did he write that though? Also, like, I fell into Gant's trap. I thought Emma was the one who killed Neil Marshall, brother of Jake Marshall, the wildest cowboy in the West.
Yes.
This was the only case where I was like legit fucking the twists and turns caught me off guard. Miles Edgeworth, God bless his soul, had a very interesting case.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because
he's dead.
He's dead. We killed him. Hey, court. Miles Edgeworth, bless his soul. He had an interesting case previously, and I do love that case. But this case is the one where I was legit like, I sat up in my bed and went, "Oh shit, Emma killed that guy." And then I sat up again going, "Oh shit, Emma didn't kill that guy." Like, I had the twists and turns. And Chief Gant.
They did do a good job with this case, kind of actually confusing you, and it's not obvious.
I want to say
There's so many moving parts.
I think Chief Gant goes through tanning beds. He looks like the type of man who does.
He wears a tie shaped like a cross.
That's
I'm
sick.
curious about his outfit.
That's sick, though.
I love it, but I'm furious about it.
What? So, Ben, you're the lore master of Ace Attorney because you've done all the research. What is Chief Gant? What is that a pun for?
I don't think Gant is a pun for anything, to my knowledge. I did look up. I think actually Iro did it while we were on the stream.
Swimming.
The whole swimming bit.
Yeah.
Like why he keeps talking to everybody about swimming.
Oh yeah.
And I guess it's because he was modeled after Zeus. Like that's like his bit.
Yes.
He's kind of Zeus alike. And his name in Japanese, when it's written, uses some characters for or a character for the ocean. So there's a bit of
wait. So he's modeled after Zeus.
Yeah.
But he talks about the ocean all the time.
Right.
Ace Attorney, call me.
They're mixing their references a little bit here.
This is something I'm qualified to talk about.
And the trivia section here on Ace Attorney Wiki says Damon Gant's goatee is in the shape of an upside down seashell. This could be a physical implication of his love for swimming.
No.
What?
Okay.
What?
That's a bad take.
When I love something, I style my facial hair after that. I love Pokemon, goatee Pikachu.
Wow.
So
Could
like
be a Pokeball, but you had to go hard.
That's true.
Takumi also mentions that Gant's character was modeled on the staff's image of a television presenter as well.
That's fair.
So there's a couple combinations of things that they're mixing in there. I think the main thing is that they had some. The design might have been modeled off of Zeus, and they have obviously the lightning bolt stuff going on with him. But then he's also got a little bit of ocean iconography on him. And he just keeps asking about swimming, and when they localized it, they're like, "I guess we'll just have him keep asking if you've gone swimming."
He does look like he could present Family Feud. Like he looks.
I was waiting for like a lifeguard joke to be in there somewhere to explain it, and there never really was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Angel Star, she's the cafeteria lady. She comes with the hot meals. Jake Marshall, Cowboy Man. Also, by the way, I don't know if we've talked about Jake Marshall in this case yet. We touched on him, the fact that he's a fucking cowboy who plays by his own rules, and he's really deep into his bit. I like him. Do I think he's like? Do I love him? I guess, yeah.
I liked him a lot. He was my favorite character in the game for a while. Like between 1 and 2.
I didn't like the fact that he was I like characters who are fun, but the second they like are in my way, I developed an irrational dislike for them. And he got in my way, and I was just like, you know what, Jake, you gotta go. I'm shooting you in the head in this courtroom.
See, you just made my argument for why Officer Meekin sucks.
That's fair. You know what? That's valid. I understand now. Well, the thing about Officer Meekin
Officer Meekins is actively trying to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like, my annoyance is real. And that will never go. Murder, not real, didn't happen. Me
Right.
being annoyed happened in real life.
That's I I like him. He needs a water bottle. He's thirsty. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
speaking-
didn't notice that particularly, but all right.
I want him to be
Speaking
well
of
fed
thirsty,
and hydrated. I want him to be
there's this-
hydrated and well fed. I'm gonna take care of him.
Miles.
There's this really fucking strange blog post that went up for this case, in which it is in character between Maya and Phoenix. And they're talking back and forth about the development of this case. I believe this was written by Takumi, and it's Maya and Phoenix in character talking about this case. Again, this translation is coming from Gekten Saiban Library, and Ash, who's translated so many blog posts there.
Thank you, Ash.
And as they go through, they're talking about like, oh, these are the characters that show up in it. Oh wow, doesn't Emma look a lot like you, Maya? Haha, very funny, you know. And then they talk about Takumi writing it as well.
Dang,
Oh.
cringe.
And there is an image of all the bottles of alcohol that Takumi went through while writing this case.
What the fuck?
This is a wild thing to post. I'm looking at this image, and maybe we can put it in the show notes or on the Twitter or something like that. But it's 7 bottles of Wild Turkey bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
And an 8th bottle of something else, maybe wine or sake or something like that. It's hard to tell because it's behind the other bottles. But it's just, oh my God. He's like, this is all the alcohol Takumi went through while writing this entire
How many
case.
days? Takumi, are you okay?
That's a good thing.
Weirdly
good
enough,
question.
one day. One day.
Oh, and then there were no more Ace Attorney
Takumi
games
suffers
after
alcohol
that.
poisoning.
That's why
Yep.
Takumi had to step out for fucking a lot of games, is because of the Wild Turkey bourbon whiskey.
It's one of those things like, listen, I know there's like this thing with Japanese game developers, and I know in general, like, Japanese work culture is crazy, but with Japanese game developers, there sometimes seems to be this like habit of bragging about how much you overworked yourself. And it's not explicitly bragging, but it's like, oh yeah, I had to be in the hospital for like a couple days after we finished development of this game, and I was on an IV fluid to make sure I was getting, you know, all my proper. And it's like, wait a minute, what?
Did that
That's
happen to
not
Shu?
normal.
That's not good, you guys.
Did that happen to
That's
Takumi?
good. Takumi, not this. What that was a hypothetical I was just
Oh,
describing. But
okay, got it.
Takumi,
I thought Takumi went to
has
the
described
hospital.
going. He has described going to the doctor during and after development because of how much he's overworked himself. He has said that before.
Yo, go
So it's
sleep.
like, dog, please, I'm begging you.
Yeah, fucking.
uh,
You know what? Takumi
hopefully
needs to
things are
follow
better
water.
now. But back when they were first working on these cases, and their teams were like, you know, between 7 and 12 people. I guess everybody had to carry a whole lot more game development work on their back.
Yeah.
Especially Shu, he would, you know, practically write everything himself. You know, he had nobody else to delegate. He would do the outlines and write every little bit of dialogue. Whereas now they have a whole team of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I guess then, yeah, for as like this case wraps up, then you get this trick question. We briefly mentioned it earlier, but you get this trick question where the game says, "Do you have evidence to present that would implicate and, you know, prove that you know, Gant is the one who did this?" And you have to say, "No, I don't." In a, you know, turn from normally, in which you're always encouraged to, you know, keep pushing forward
I got
and
my asshole
object
blown
and
out.
always present. And instead you're supposed to hesitate, say, no, not yet, so that you can then trick Gant into giving the evidence relevance first, and then you are allowed to present it. And you are supposed to be getting the gotcha on Gant. It's really fun, I think. I personally really like it, and the game really tries to hammer it home with a book that gives you this really cute little like evidence law book. And they try to like really like hammer it home with you and go, look,
It's only cute
Here's
if
a
you
book.
have the HD remaster because you can't fucking see it in the originals.
It's this
a
little
ducky.
It's
Oh,
this
the
like little
ducky?
bird, this little
Yeah.
chick.
Yeah, it's a
with
little chick with a
That's so
Sherlock
cute.
hat on.
That's so
Yeah.
cute. I have the HD remaster, and I did like that little ducky, and I thought to myself, "Wow, fucking every lawyer has to read this, huh?"
Yeah,
Wow.
Miles
a
Edward
book for
thought this little
babies.
ducky.
Golden Books evidence law.
Yeah.
So I fell.
You
into
said you
this
got
trap.
got.
I fell into this trap immediately because I was just like, "Of course, I'm going to show evidence that Gant did it. He's a piece of shit.
I'm sure
And-
most people did, so don't feel bad.
I'm a sucker." So like this brings up one of those things of like where Phoenix knew what to do and I did not. Like Phoenix Wright had a plan apparently during this part where he was like, "This isn't
Yeah, and
the
this
right
kind of
time."
gives way to the you're not actually playing as Phoenix. Like, it's kind of interesting. Like, you're not playing as Phoenix. Phoenix knows what's going on. You have to figure it out.
So like you say no, you don't have evidence, and then Chief Gant's like, "Well, do you have evidence that who really killed them? Huh? Do you, punk?" And then you're not supposed to show it. And then Chief Gant's like, "No, show it. Show the thing you pulled out of my safe." And you're like, "Oh, out
He's
of
like,
your
just
safe,
so you,
huh?
Just so I'm clear,
Just
you
so
are saying this is relevant, right?" And Chief Gant's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely."
Oh,
You're like, "Okay, sucker."
it didn't occur to me that Chief Gantz has fabricated a lot of evidence both in this case and the one that he is covering up. And I did not expect this piece of evidence to be a cover up until I saw the photo of Neil Marshall dead, which, by the way, fucking was in the book that Lana Sky gave you, the evidence book. I'm
Right.
pissed that Phoenix didn't open the goddamn book he was handed. Like,
I tried to open the book and he didn't do it right.
She really wanted to learn about evidence law.
I really needed to know. So like you get to see that Neil Marshall clearly bled on like the part where it would have been cut off. So once again, Chief Gant setting up a whole fucking thing to puppet Lana and become chief of police. Miles Edgeworth is a casualty because he was the prosecutor in the cover-up case. Chief Gant gave him fabricated evidence, therefore ruining Miles Edgeworth's career. Which, by the way, Miles Edgeworth choosing once again to shoulder the responsibility that no one's asking him to. What, like, he thinks...
Miles says I'll ruin my own damn career.
He's, like, all of us are just like, Miles, you were handed false evidence. This isn't your fault. You were tricked. And Miles goes, it's my fault for being tricked. And I'm like, what the fuck? No.
I love that. No, I love it. He's wrong. He's totally wrong, but I love it.
I'm just like, bro, come on, dude. Like, I'm trying to give you a door out. Like, please take it.
Miles,
pretend
I
not
love
to see
drama, Edgeworth.
Yes.
Do we give any weight to Gant then turning to Edgeworth and saying, we're not so different, you and I? We're alike, you and I. You're
what I
only one step
expected.
away from being just like me, Edgeworth.
I
you
don't
know?
think so at all. I think that was Gant just monologuing, trying to fucking fill for time.
I mean, that's the villain's speech,
That's
Yeah.
somebody who thinks they've won.
Yeah,
you gotta have that in there.
fucking, like, Miles being like, I'm gonna turn into Gant one day, and I'm just like, if you have the foresight to think about that, you probably won't, Chief. You know what I mean?
And, honestly, that line there where he says, you and I, we hate criminals, like, of course you're going to end up just like me, kind of is the reason why I think them saying, oh, he didn't actually fabricate the evidence was okay. Because if he hates criminals so much, or
then
he's
he
prosecuting
wouldn't
because
fabricate.
he hates criminals so much, why would he have used fabricated evidence knowingly?
Yeah, like
He obviously wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Well, because Von Karma taught him to. He definitely manipulated witnesses and withheld evidence from
That
the
is-
defense.
Everything he
That's-
Yes,
did,
absolutely.
That's
everything he
canonical.
did,
That can't be changed.
he is not like, yeah, but he hasn't actively broken the law. Like, he hasn't actively created a fucking cloth with someone's fingerprint on it to say, like,
Withholding evidence from the defense is definitely illegal.
he's illegal in
is.
Phoenix Wright world.
That's a good question. We'll see if that ever comes
Because,
up.
like,
They
if there's anything
seem to put a lot of weight on manipulating the witnesses.
yeah,
So that feels like that is definitely illegal. Like telling them what they like telling them to lie, especially.
So
You know,
if there's anything that I learned is that court cases in Phoenix Wright world prior to this case was like WWE, where like shit could just happen at any moment and you just accept it as fact. Like I fucking Miles Edgeworth came off the top with a ladder and hit Phoenix right over the head and be like, yeah, that's how court cases work. This one was just like, all right, guys.
Yeah, except you're not allowed to do anything back. That's the frustrating
That's
thing.
yeah, I want to hit him.
People
I-
can literally
with the
beat
I
the
wanna
chair.
start
shit out of
manipulating
Phoenix, and
witnesses.
he can't do a damn thing.
I want to start breaking crime. So like, fucking. So this was the case where it was like, hey, by the way, we actually do shit by the book here. And I was just like, wait, what? When the fuck has there ever been a book?
Here's your book. It has a fucking
There's a
chick
duck
on it.
on it.
Little baby chickie.
Oh god, that duck's so cute. Put that on a t-shirt. I'll wear that shirt.
Oh hell yeah!
Evidence law T-shirt.
So like, everything else was just like I could accept as like just fabrication because I was just like, that's how this world works. You can just court cases get solved in 3 days. You can do whatever you want in court. No one like
A
criticizes.
child can be convicted for a accidental, like, self-defense, completely blameless crime.
Yeah, self-defense
Right.
straight up doesn't exist in this world. Children can be arrested and like prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
I don't know what to tell you. This is the dark age of the law. And again, this is not a thing that they say during this trilogy, but in game 4, then they retroactively apply the period of these 3 games. They call them, oh, that was the dark age of the law.
Wait,
Things
what?
are
It
getting
is!
better now. And they're
What
like,
the
this is the
fuck?
dark
This
age.
is Dark Souls?
This is the dark age of the law.
This is the Dark Souls of court cases.
Because they say, oh yeah, things were really bad back then, and there were only a few honest attorneys who were working through the muck to try to defend their clients, and
There
Phoenix
are
was one of them.
There are 4 attorneys.
Was Phoenix Wright one of these good attorneys? Because I have trouble believing that.
They certainly consider Phoenix one of them.
That's I actively
I'm a good
broke
boy.
into people's homes to take evidence. I actively
Phoenix
They
just
were murderers.
breaking into the police office and rummaging through people's safe.
Yeah, like,
just to, like...
I committed so much beanies, man. Like I'm fucking beanie chief. Call me bacon and egg. And like,
to fight monsters, we must become monsters.
but now they're telling me that it's bad to become a monster. What the fuck? I thought everyone was psyched about this.
I don't know.
Maya
I love to fight a monster. You must
Ghost
become
Mia
a monster.
actively suggested that I start interrogating children. I don't know what to tell you.
It's true.
Like fucking, she wanted me to do it. A ghost. Fucking. So like, I don't even remember what the original plot thread. The original conversation thread that led to this point of us talking about like how court cases were the fucking Wild West and we could just steal and cheat as much evidence as possible. Oh, because Miles Edgeworth is accused of being a bad prosecutor. I like in the rules of the world, in the rules of the game, like he did okay. Like he's allowed to fucking manipulate the witness. Apparently that's fine. But fabricating evidence, no.
I mean, the game definitely, when say like during the Steel Samurai case, there's a character, a witness will say something like, "Well, Mr. Edgeworth told me not to mention that," and then Edgeworth is like,
Shut the fuck up.
and
He
somehow
makes
the
the funny
judge,
face.
and somehow the judge just doesn't hear this.
Yeah.
Like the judge just doesn't notice that this is going on in his courtroom. So it is that people talking out of the side of their mouths. There's a little bit of like leeway into how to read exactly how things are going, but like Edgeworth has clearly told people not to bring certain things up. He's definitely influencing the witness for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
The thing that like I guess confuses me, the fact that like it to me the first like 4 cases read is like Bugs Bunny turned the gun on Elmer Fudd, and then like the 5th case is like Bugs Bunny shot Elmer Fudd in cold blood, like this goofy thing that was accepted as just like a thing that was happening all of a sudden became like a death threat and like could ruin your career. And
Right.
I was just like, I was kind of stunned to just be like, oh, I guess Miles Edgeworth is gonna fucking die, huh? That sucks, man. You shouldn't have been a
I
dick.
can't wait.
You shouldn't have been a dick during the Steel Samurai case. Imagine the Steel Samurai case being your downfall.
It would be very...
Instead of fucking The SL9 incident.
I do want to hit him over the head with the folding chair.
Fucking, you would be allowed in the first 4 cases. That would just be how court cases work.
No, he would be allowed to hit me over the head with the folding chair, but I can't hit him.
That's
as
true.
Dess said earlier.
Yeah, that's just, yeah.
You would have to steal a folding chair out of someone's private home and present it as evidence in a court case.
Yeah.
You're a defense attorney,
listen.
you're only allowed to defend, no offense.
So, like, I kind of liked Miles Edgeworth's, like, change in disposition during this case, because this case, he was actually, like, on my side.
It is a good one, yeah. They definitely picked up from that from the last case and put that in this one, because I think a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, so people really like the fact that Edgeworth is working along with you. It's not just for winning or losing, it's about figuring out the truth.
It's about the goddamn truth. Like...
Yeah, I liked collaborating with him, and it does feel like the natural progression from, like, even though it's a little, like, squeezed in there in the timeline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From the last case where he was like, oh my god, my entire worldview and life is, like, a lie and has changed.
Yeah.
And then he comes in and he's like...
He almost starts to find what he's doing this for.
Yeah, Phoenix keeps talking about the truth all the time. What if I did that instead? You know?
So, like, I'm trying to see how, because, like, I genuinely I liked Phoenix Wright and Miles Edgeworth working together. The last time they worked together wasn't the previous case, because the previous case, Miles Edgeworth was the defendant. Was it the case before that? That wasn't the Steel Samurai.
Steel Samurai.
Yeah, it was Steel Samurai, where he was working together with fucking Phoenix, because Lady, I don't remember her name, Lady Debutante or whatever, was fucking, well, like, I'm gonna get away with this. And then Miles was just like, wait 1 second, I want to hear from her again, you know.
Don't cancel my favorite TV show by putting the main actor in prison.
Exactly.
Yeah, did Edgeworth do it because he actually wanted to help, or is it just because he didn't want his show canceled?
I legit thought that Miles Edgeworth being a Steel Samurai fan was a bit, but now that I saw the Steel Samurai statue in his office, I think it's real. I thought he was a fake Sentai fan, but he might be a real Toku fan.
Yeah, you might just be hiding it.
Yeah. Although he did get a lot of those gifts from Wendy Oldbag, and part of me is just like, what is happening here? Miles, do you want to explain this?
That question might be definitively answered during this trilogy.
What the fuck?
Oh.
One way or the other. You might not find out.
Also,
So
like, I think I have another thing about this case that, like, kind of caught me off guard, is the fact that you could tell that some of these sprites were drawn post-trilogy, because they look way too good.
Yes.
they look significantly better.
Like,
yeah.
fucking Jake Marshall, Angel... The exact moment where I thought the frames looked different was, like, Angel Star had, like, side boob, and April May only had cleavage, but, like, Angel Star got side boob, and I was like, whoa, that's a little too much, ma'am. Please cover up. Like, why are you dressing?
Damn,
extra
you don't get to
pixels.
tell a woman how to dress.
You're right, Des. I apologize. That's on me. Please show me the side boob.
I respectfully request.
I respectfully request.
You got to see it. It was there.
I did. And Angel Star said that she was going to kill me in court, which is, like, all I want from a witness. Fucking, I don't even know where to go from this bit. Fuck.
No, I think
we can just let that sit there.
Yeah,
the artist for the game is the same artist who then eventually does the art for Game 4 for Apollo Justice.
So I actually
So that is why there's such a big jump, you know. Aside from also that, yes, now it is natively on the DS, so those sprites can be better.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because, like, I could tell that they were different from the cell shading.
You know what else was huge? There's 3D models spinning.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
3D models and shit. Seeing Officer
Yeah.
Meekins get fucking stabbed in 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made it all worth it. I think that, yeah, I was, like, jumped by the change in art direction. I don't know if it's something I would have noticed if, like, I was, like, a teenager, you know what I mean? If I played this game when it came out. But, like,
Mhm.
now that I'm, like, an adult, and I'm like, I've got different eyes now. I'm a big boy now.
Mm-hmm.
I like the art change direction. Do they change artists from the trilogy into the fourth game forward?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was all the same artist, and they just had like a different just progression. Kind of like how
the crew expands. They have more. They have more artists in general.
None of the characters ever hit as hard as Jake Marshall does.
Yeah, Jake Marshall, his design does slap.
Slaps.
I think you guys will find some characters that you really like in Apollo Justice, but
yeah, Apollo himself.
But in games 2 and 3, even though it is still like the original crew, I don't want us to get too hung up on an art style change because we're still going to be in the trilogy here for a bit.
Yeah.
There's still some really good character designs coming up. I think y'all will really like some of the characters in game 2.
Yeah, we need to get going to game 2 as fast as possible because of personal reasons.
Is it because of the whip lady?
What do you think?
Okay, my bad.
I have one more Takumi tidbit from his blog post. He wrote up a little segment here where he had some of his early ideas for this case. Case candidate 1. Location, a racetrack.
Sick.
After the first car makes the finish, the dead body of the driver is discovered inside the car.
That's sick. That
was his first idea.
That's so cool. Oh my god.
That's the sickest shit I've ever heard.
Oh my god.
Case candidate number 2, location, a baseball field. A home run ball hit by the cleanup hitter drives into the forehead of a spectator who dies.
What?
Okay.
Now that's gruesome.
Not only is
that's
that
messed up, but definitely not murder.
The thing about it though is that in the worlds of this universe, that's 100% premeditated murder. You're going to jail.
We have to get out of the dark age of the law before I have a heart attack.
The hitter pointed to the stands and then hit the ball, so that was premeditated.
Babe Ruth killed somebody when he did that.
Oh my god.
Case candidate number 3, location, a dinosaur museum. A gigantic complete skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus and a body is found between its jaws.
What
yes!
the fuck?
Why aren't any of these cases?
He never reuses any of these ideas aside from like the body being found in Miles Edgeworth's car. Like you can see some remnants of the car idea here, but yeah, it is there's some really wild ideas, and he writes that basically he could not figure out how to come up with a solution for these. He had really good initial pitches of making you go, oh, what the hell happened here? But he could not figure out how to actually explain it in a sensible manner and have you solve it.
Yeah.
So they were just cool ideas and not actually an idea for a case.
Yeah, like you come up with the end of a mystery and then you have to realize, well, how the fuck would this mystery actually happen? What is the truth in this scenario?
Or you come up with the start of the mystery, like a dead body and T-Rex jaws, and then you go, ah, shit.
Well, yeah, you gotta figure out why it ended up... Yeah. I'm pissed about that race car one. I really want to fucking solve that one. That one seems tight as hell.
Yeah, it is pretty neat idea. So maybe one day in a future game, if Takumi ever comes back, he'll get to reuse some of those ideas. But
Great Ace Attorney 3.
Found in a
stagecoach.
Yeah, a stagecoach instead. Oh, body in a stagecoach. Huh, that would be pretty wild for a Great Ace Attorney case, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? That'd be a pretty wild
wouldn't
case.
It be like a body on like a horse, right?
No, there's in Great Ace Attorney there are stagecoaches and there are early automobiles.
I didn't know there were cars. I don't know when
horses are involved.
Yeah, it's like what is it, like late 1800s, early 1900s?
Oh shit! Is it during the
turn of the century
time? Where like
it's turn of the century. London, the fair at London is happening during
the World Fair.
The World Fair, yeah. So that's like explicitly a touch tone.
The Glass
for
Palace.
Take
me there.
So yeah, that was case 5. I think overall, despite it being lengthy, we were all pretty still on board with it and had some good moments.
I loved it.
I really think that Phoenix and Edgeworth teaming up to take down Gant at the end is a really like satisfying moment, both story and gameplay wise.
Despite its length, it still is an incredibly satisfying story. You get You get your verdict. It's the breakdown's good. I definitely remember playing it as a kid and being like, I can't wait for the breakdown in this one because I know it's going to be crazy.
Right. With all the lightning effects and everything.
Yeah.
It is very satisfying to finally get Gant. So, any last thoughts before case 5 here before we go to a game 1 wrap up? If not, then game 1 wrap up time.
Yay!
Yeah.
I just figured I'd ask you all some questions here now that we're done with game 1. Before we hop into game 2, I guess let's just kind of go around. I have some some conversation starter questions here for everybody just to see what y'all thought of this first game. Dessy, we'll start with you. Do you have a favorite case here?
Favorite case?
Yeah,
I would
game
probably
1.
say this last case is probably my favorite because it sticks out the most. It's the most
Mhm.
complicated. It's the most frustrating, but also the most satisfying. And also Jake Long.
Right.
Jake Marshall.
Excuse me.
Jake Long, American Dragon.
American Dragon Jake Long. I was just looking at a picture of him yesterday. Jake Marshall.
That was the last thing I expected.
I fucking holy shit. I love Jake Long as much as the next guy, but holy shit.
Jake Marshall was my favorite character for a very long time.
He's sick.
Okay. Well, then that answers the next question I had, which was favorite NPC. Rose, do you have a favorite case in this game?
I liked 1-4, obviously.
Yeah.
It felt like the end of the game, and that was very satisfying for me. Obviously this last one. Yeah, this last one was delightful, but I do felt like it had a solid end right there, and I liked it.
Okay. And I think I know the answer to this, but favorite NPC.
I mean, look at me. Everybody look at me. It's Miles.
Now, what if I told you favorite
It's a
NPC
parrot.
aside from Miles? The
Aside
parrot?
from Miles, no.
No.
No. It's not the parrot. I think maybe Gumshoe.
Gumshoe's great.
Yeah,
I really
Gumshoe.
like
Yeah.
Gumshoe. He is awesome. He's funny. He's stupid. He's
Am I
everything.
coming in at a bad time?
Yep. He's great. I love him. He's a gentleman and a hero, and he's the only good cop.
Yep.
That's true.
Tiago, do you have a favorite case then?
Yeah, favorite case, case 5 with Lana Sky, Emma Sky, Chief Gant, Angel
Mhm.
Star, Jake Marshall, Detective Goodman is the victim, Miles Edgeworth as the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Why are you...
That,
Okay.
Officer,
Yeah.
Officer Meekins is the supposed suspect. Is that every person in this case?
I
Yes.
think you got everybody. Do you
Phoenix
have a
Wright.
favorite NPC for the whole game?
Phoenix favorite NPC. I almost want to say Phoenix Wright because straight up, I didn't feel like I fucking.
You're
played
gonna
this.
be consistent with your statement about him
Yeah.
not being a playable character.
I'm just like low-key, I kind of like. I love Phoenix, but like, I guess favorite NPC. I'm trying not to choose like the easy answer, which is like, ooh, sexy lady, Angel Star. No, I did love Jake Marshall. Like, he was actually a complicated character and like, fucking was willing to commit crime over the resolution over like the death of his brother, and
Right.
his distrust of the prosecutor, which was fabricated essentially by Chief Gant. Like, he thought he hated the prosecutor's office, but his real enemy was his boss, Chief Gant. And
Right.
like, there's like a cool subversion in there. And like, Angel Star also has that hatred where like she is like, I hate the prosecutors, and it turns out that like the one who was actually behind all this was the chief of police. So like the police department once again shown to be the real corrupt force. And
Angel was so willing. It was so had so much hatred for the prosecution. She actually helps you by
Yeah.
well, intentionally,
She, like-
unintentionally.
Yeah, she's like fucking. She lied in her fucking testimony to a point of like, if she didn't lie, it probably wouldn't have created confusion, which means that this case probably would have wrapped up that fucking day. But because she was dishonest, it was able to continue. Favorite NPC, I guess Jake Marshall. I also do love Gumshoe. Like, no, legit, I thought I hated Gumshoe at the beginning. I was just like, I don't see what's so cool about this guy. But that scene where he fucking follows you to Chief Gan's office, like, solidified him as my favorite NPC.
And yeah, his extended bit, like Dessy mentioned, of him constantly coming in and going like, "Hey guys, what's up?" But then
It's always during a bad time.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, it's bad time. Okay, I'll leave." It's very good.
And then he fades away. Then you go, "Oh wait, what are you doing here?" You gotta stop making me run around.
I do want to say something that is important, is that I actually also love Emma Skye. Emma, her arc through this fucking case was, I know she's just supposed to be like science Maya, like science flavored Maya, but like in this case I felt like she was her own character, because she like had fucking ups, and she had like an arc during this case.
Yeah,
and
she almost like felt more mature than Maya at some point.
She was willing to go to jail. She thought she really killed that guy, and then was just like, "It's okay that I killed him." And Lana's like, "No, it's not. What are you talking about?"
It is okay that you killed him because it wasn't murder.
Yeah, but in this universe, it's premeditated murder.
15.
You will die. I would like.
She was in the same room as him, therefore it was premeditated.
The judge will kill Emma Skye with a gun when the
You cannot have an accidental murder.
So like, yeah, I got a lot of favorite NPCs, but Jake Marshall, Gumshoe, Emma Skye, some of my favorites. I also do love Maya. She's funny. I love a cute, funny sidekick. She's like she's just like she's chill from fucking Zabungle, you know? She's
okay, yeah.
Just there, just to fucking goof around.
Nobody's gonna get that
Nobody's
reference.
gonna understand that.
Well,
but that's
you know
okay.
What? The real
Leave her, Ben,
Zabungle
and
heads
Tiago.
out there, they'll get me.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, IRL.
I think my favorite case from this game is case 4. It's really tough for me to decide between case 4 and case 5, but I think case 4 just edges it out a little bit, because I think there's some really delightful moments in that final case where you the one that I think is probably the best gotcha moment, which is using the metal detector. I think that's a
shit,
really
are we gonna watch
satisfying
the movie?
Yeah, we're gonna watch the movie,
Not
but we
yet.
have to beat case. We have to beat the second game because apparently it spoils that.
Once we beat the second game, then we can watch the movie. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, but,
What's more iconic than almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas?
right.
Yeah.
And as far as NPCs, I'm a big fan of Gumshoe. I really am.
Damn.
I also really like. I know he's a villain, but I love Gant. He's just
Gant
such a lovable prick. I love
good.
his
Would not
grimace.
use that word to describe him, but okay.
Like his fucking white person face that he makes.
His straight lips.
His straight lips, and then the music pausing is just, it's such a good moment, and it's really a clever way of making him a little hard to read and intimidating. I think it's a good moment. I was going to do music tracks next, and so I'll just segue into this.
You don't have to
my
ask
favorite
me. I
music,
only say it like 73 times.
yeah, my favorite music track is Gumshoe's theme in this game. I love Gumshoe's theme so much. I think it's such a good track. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just a really satisfying, like, detective / investigation type theme. So yeah, Dessy, I know which one you're gonna say, but your favorite theme is
Cornered.
Yep.
So
Cornered
good.
2001.
So satisfying. I don't think any of the other Cornered songs ever hit as hard as that one does. They just don't have the same, I don't know, I just never get the same vibe. When that Cornered theme plays in this game, it's just like, oh, you just really feel like you've hit the nail on the head, like you're getting somewhere. It's so good.
Yeah.
It is really satisfying. Rose, do you have a favorite music track?
I don't know the names of any of the tracks.
That's all right.
So it's possible that this is the one that Des is talking about, but it's the one that plays when you figure it out. Where you get them. I mean, when I get you.
Yeah.
Like, it just, the like, yeah, it's good. It's really good.
It's good.
It's a very satisfying, like, almost victory
Like you get to sit there and watch somebody who's been the center of your frustration start to squirm.
It's usually where you get the good like breakdown sprites too.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just like every time it plays, I just start like dancing a little bit because it's so good. So that has to be my favorite.
It always gives me like goosebumps, and every time it plays, it's just so. It gets such a good reaction out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Tiago, do you have a favorite track?
My favorite track is the one that plays when you go down to the detention center and you meet up with your client who is sad. Like, theme of the sad client. It's like somber. It makes you like, it adds weight to the game. Like, it makes me feel like, because otherwise this is just like a goofy Ace Attorney game where like it's all like there are serious moments in this game, and that's like one of them is like when they're in the detention center accused of murder and they need your help. And
they've got nowhere to go, yeah.
They got nowhere to go. The thing that's funny to me is, sorry, I just burped because I ate cereal an hour ago,
okay.
And that was a bad
cereal.
Burp.
It makes you burp.
Cereal, it makes you burp. So like, there's a chair in the detention center, and your client is sitting in the chair opposite you, but sometimes Lana would like turn around in the chair.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, is she just spinning the chair around? Like, okay.
She's sitting in it backwards like Captain America.
Like Captain America.
Like a cool youth pastor.
Yeah.
I love Theme of Sad Client. It drives home that like this is a game with consequences. Like, you need to help your client, otherwise they're gonna go to the fucking gulag or whatever.
They're gonna feel really sad.
They're gonna be really sad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's game one.
We fucking did it.
We got it in the bag. Onward
Can
to
take
game
that
2.
Game out of your DS and put it away.
Yeah. Game 2 is titled Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All.
Okay.
Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. That is game 2. And I think there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to dig into there. There are some...
And a lot of not so fun stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say.
A lot of trudging.
There are some low lows in this game. At least, I should say, in my memory, and also in the general fandom consensus, is that Game 2 has some low lows, but also some of the highest highs. That is kind of like the general consensus, is like there's one or two cases that are kind of rough and you kind of have to trudge through them a bit, but then there's also one or two cases that are really good and kind of incredible and have some of the best moments, period, in the entire trilogy. And that is my memory as well. I'm really interested to see if I still think that now, coming back to them. If I still feel like, oh, this one's a trudge, to get through it, or if I'm like, oh, this doesn't drag as much as I thought. I'm actually kind of fine with it.
It's not going to drag as much because you know the answers to a lot of these things, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember every single detail. I still got to, kind of figure things out again, even if I remember the general beats. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how they'll turn out, and Whip Lady will finally show up.
Yes.
But first, case 1, you got to go up against Winston Payne, as always. It's a little bit of a tutorial case.
Whip Lady and the frustration of, again, not being able to fight back.
Does she whip you in court?
She uses the whip. It's not just for looks.
Does she hit me?
Who knows?
No, she hits me in the court. I'm suing her. I'm a lawyer. What the fuck?
But yes, first we'll do next week, or not next week, 2 weeks from now, we will be playing case 2-1, The Lost Turnabout, which is, again, the first case. That's a little shorter. It's kind of a tutorial case to get you back into the game and acclimated to the gameplay. There are some minor tweaks to the gameplay here in Game 2. They change things a little bit. The health bar changes. So instead of the exclamation points, it is now a meter.
Yeah.
So things can... Some, mistakes will only take a little bit off your meter, and others will drain more meter. So you can have minor or major mistakes now instead of just 5 pips and you got to deal with it. So that's we'll see how everybody feels about that. And I am very, very excited to see how you all react to the reasoning that the game gives for why you would need to do a tutorial style case again.
Oh my
Against
god,
Payne.
it's gonna be so stupid.
I'm gonna get hit
isn't
by
it?
It's going to be
fucking
very
boss, aren't
dumb.
I?
It's going to be very dumb. So, anyway, we will take that case on 2 weeks from now. That will do it for us this episode. You can follow the show on Twitter at Ace Attorney Pod to stay up to date on our latest episodes, as well as the streams and the YouTube uploads of Dessy and I playing throughout the game. You can follow
And
me.
Iro for the majority of it.
Yeah, we have a guest chair who, we have a different guest on every week, and just every week it somehow always ends up to be our good friend Iro. I don't know how that keeps happening, but
Listen,
our
Friend of the
rotating guest
show.
chair.
Friend of the
Our
show.
rotating
Iro.
guest chair just keeps going in a fucking full circle.
I want to show up sometimes, but sometimes you guys are ahead of me, and I'm just like, you know what? Also, it's been rough lately.
I'm sorry, you just need to play faster.
I'm gonna fight you, Des. I'm gonna meet you at your home.
Do it, come on.
You fucking.
There's so much snow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We're stuck
I'm gonna
here.
mail you some goddamn
Court
snow.
without limits.
Court without limits.
That's Ace
Welcome
Attorney,
to the
baby.
CWL, baby.
Okay, you can follow me on Twitter at Yotzben. Dessy, where can people find
Yes, this is Des on Twitter. If you want to see a lot of Pokemon.
you? Mm-hmm. That's true. Pokemon Legends is out now. Tiago, where can people find you?
At Tiago S. Dutra, where I will probably be retweeting from my video game blog so I can fucking talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus.
And Rose, where can people find you?
You can find me at Trauma Arts on Twitter, where I will not be tweeting about Pokemon, but if you would like reasonably priced commissions, please hit me up.
And stickers.
Yeah, support our friends.
Oh yes, and stickers. I made
Yeah.
a sticker.
All
Maybe
right.
I'll make another sticker.
Make a
Oh,
sticker with Phoenix on it and it says, I may be stupid.
I
You know what?
would love that.
I wouldn't mind a Blue Badger sticker.
I would.
You would? You would mind a
Yeah.
Blue Badger sticker? My bad.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you'll rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. Again, next week we will be heading into Game 2, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All, and playing the first case, 2-1, The Lost Turnabout. Play along or watch
We're
along.
getting close to my boy Apollo.
Dude, high five for
We're
Apollo
getting
fans out
there.
here.
Every
We're not there
case
yet.
is another step.
Did we talk about how Ace Attorney was the reason we started talking?
I think we have.
Anyway,
Cool.
Anyway,
Lore drop
I-
leaves.
Yeah,
See y'all later.
Drop the lore and we're out. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.